against Ortiz was the refereeing. I just thought there was too much interference and not allowing the fighters to do one of the things that have been done in boxing for many years. Yeah, but just allow them to fight on the inside. Somebody needs to train these referees and remind them that the rules say if you have a hand free, let the fighter work. Let him work his way out. Don't come in there and break him. You do not allow one of the greater dimensions of boxing to take place, the inside fighting. This fella here, Steve Smolder, allows you to fight on the inside. He does not interfere with a fight more than he needs to.
I would say go so far as to encourage it, Steve Smolder.
And that's why a lot of times on his watch, you wind up, by no accident, getting good fights. I think, talking of good fights, you're going to have a competitive fight here tonight. A lot of the people I talk to don't give Jargal much of a shot. I'm not one of those people. I think he's slicker and cuter than people think. He moves his head pretty good. He'll move his legs a little bit. He knows how to make you miss, and he can sneak shots in, especially left hooks. For Prescott, he likes to look for that right hand, sometimes straight, sometimes looping like that, and sometimes he's over anxious and he'll reach. And I think that might be an opportunity, as I said in the fight plan, for Jargal to score. Look for the jab in the right hand from Prescott.
We're seeing plenty of the jab early on here. And Jargal just escaped a right hand that would have been flush if he stood in there.
It might have been flush if it was a little straighter. That's the problem with Prescott, Joe. Sometimes he doesn't always throw that right hand like an arrow.
No, that was looping a bit. That was
sometimes
wide.
It's a boomerang. And boomerangs come back to hit you. You throw a boomerang right hand, you miss. And the other guy hits you.
There's Prescott coming in now. That wide right hand landed as he scores well here in the final minute of this first round. Now the jab to the body.
Well, you just saw a moment ago that happened when you put pressure on Jargal. He drops the left hand. You see it again, Joe. He'll tuck that chin into the left shoulder and then move his head with his left hand down. He got hurt there. The right hand missed Prescott, but the left hook, the follow-up punch, found Jargal.
Remember what those left hands did to Amir Khan. He didn't get out of the first round against Prescott.
You get a guy staggering, that guy being Jargal, a little bit in front of you. That's the benefit, you young fighters out there, to throwing two instead of one punch. The first misses, the second finds the mark.
Breidis Prescott, veteran at 140 pounds, coming off 2 straight wins after losing 2 straight by decision.
You know, Jargal does a good job of moving his head. What he doesn't do a good job of is keeping his left hand up when he moves his head. Again, he drops the left hand, tucks the chin into the left shoulder to make up for it, but he lays on the right too much, Joe. Watch for that. When Jargal lays on his right side, he's in a path to the right hand. He's much better off, especially with Prescott, to slip to the left, because Prescott is always looking to throw right hands. See, there he goes again. He didn't pay a price, but I don't like what I'm seeing with Jargal. He's laying his head on that right side, the wrong side, with a guy chucking rights at you.
NASCAR Nationwide Series is at Nashville Saturday on ESPN. Coverage is going to start at 2 Eastern. There's that lean to the right one more time by Jargal. Prescott snapping out that jab.
See, Jargal could get away with that if he wasn't in there with a predominant right-hand puncher. But he is in there with a predominant right-hand puncher. And he keeps laying on the right. He's going to be laying on the ground. Jargal has to survive, I would say, the first 4 rounds. Because, you know, he's got a little bit of stage nervousness right now on national television. Prescott has been there before. So Jargal needs to get past those first four. Especially Prescott, very physically strong early on. But if he can get past these first 4 rounds, I think Jargal has a chance maybe to make it interesting. But be careful that first step. It's a Lulu.
See how much range Prescott has in some of these jabs.
Again, there's the lane on the right side of Jargal. No right hand came, so no harm done.
Another good steady round for Breidis Prescott. End of 2, scheduled for 10. Back with you ringside here on Friday Night Fights from Mohegan Sun in Uncasville, Connecticut. Of course, Brian Penny in our Friday Night Fights studio with all the news and analysis and what has been just a wild week of boxing. It's been a wild month with all the upsets we've had both on our air, and our colleagues at the other networks have seen some fireworks that have surprised a few.
You know, Prescott has 19 knockouts, but when I look at his knockout record, Joe, I see that over 90%, maybe 95% of them come in the first 3 rounds. He doesn't carry his power for the most part later in the fight. He settles into using the jab and keeping his reach a little bit, controlling that range. So again, the necessity for Jargal to survive those first 3-4 rounds. That's where the danger lies.
Just stood up to a series of headshots that included an uppercut. Jargal stands his ground, takes a baby step forward. There's a left uppercut that landed from Prescott.
And again, Jargal needs to get some rounds under him, get a little confidence, get a little comfortable. Prescott is comfortable in this kind of stage. He's fought the much better competition.
Jargal was thrown off his step moments ago and then took 2 good body punches and another right hand. Double jab right hand from Prescott again.
Prescott's a smaller man tonight. Most of his fights, for the ones that we have weights on, has been between lightweight and junior welterweight, while Jargal have been between junior welter and welterweight. So maybe that little bit of a size advantage of Jargal allows him to absorb, allows him to endure. Maybe it allows him to survive the punches early on.
Mongolian mongoose, a little thicker. Prescott a little taller. He's got him by 2 inches.
It's the right hand you have to worry about when you fight Prescott. And I think when you fight Jargal, you have to worry about the left hook.
Got in the path of that right hand, stayed in the path of that right hand again.
If I'm in the corner of Jargal, I'm telling him, use your jab, try to take the jab away from the taller Prescott. But whatever you do, move your head to the left. Do not leave your head on the right side. If you're going to make a mistake, make it on the left side, not on the right side.
Coming to the end of 3, and Breidis Prescott still in control early. Stay with us. More to come from Mohegan Sun. Anyone who hears his story, and coming up on Friday Night Fights, you will be among those who realize the impact his life had on so many.
And if you watch that, and I recommend you do, you will be one of many people that have tears in your eyes.
Undoubtedly. Round number 4 here between Breidis Prescott and Bayan Jargal. We're getting our first look at Jargal on Friday Night Fights, sitting ringside. Teddy, you've scouted him. You watched a lot of tape. And I think your assessment was dead on. And as we reach now round number 4, starting to get to that point where you say, okay, if he can get through this phase of the fight, now things will be more to his advantage under his terms, but still Prescott a lot to deal with.
I agree, Joe, and as you see, as we get into the later stages or the towards the first half of the fight, the fourth round, you see why Prescott has accumulated most of his knockouts in the first 3 rounds. He's boxing more now. Once he gets to a certain point, Prescott, as I touched on the last round, will all of a sudden change his mentality. Now he's just going to collect rounds. He's going to pick spots. He's going to move a little bit. Early on, he sets himself. He looks for the big shot. Jargal has been cut over his right eye, a problem he hopes not to have tonight. Prescott coming in here has lost 2 of his last 4, but to good fighters.
Triple jab by Breidis Prescott.
This is where Jargal starts to make his move a little bit, I believe.
Lunged in with that left hook, put him into the corner, and Prescott gets himself out. Jab to the body, jab to the head.
You know, you look at the physical advantage of Prescott, and you see a tall, long guy. And that's also the physical disadvantage at the same time. He's a tall, long guy. That means there's a long, lean body to attack. And Jargal needs to see that.
How does Jargal get after that?
Well, he needs to be aggressive behind his jab and slip to his left, where he should for defensive purposes anyway. And when he slips to his left, he'd be in good position to come back with that left hook underneath the elbow that sometimes Prescott lets fly out.
See if he can figure that out when we come back here for round number 5. As Prescott,
he knows what to do.
Opens up this 5th round with a good series of jabs, and then the right hand does Breidis Prescott, who of course has that signature win, the knockout of world champion Amir Khan. He says, I'm still waiting for that rematch from Amir. He knows that Amir, he says, wants to make a little money, wants to get the big fights, but then he says he should get after me.
You know, even though Prescott is tall and long, he's a fighter. He likes to be aggressive. And sometimes because he's aggressive, he falls in there with his head a little bit, and he's been involved in some head clash fights.
Good combination by Prescott. Good work doubling up that jab throughout.
Good work being tall from Prescott.
Indeed.
Getting full extension on his punches, punching where he can land, and simply put, Jargal cannot. You're a tall guy, you want to punch from the place where you can be tall on the outside, and Prescott is doing exactly that.
Reminder, Sunday Night Baseball presented by Taco Bell. 8 o'clock will be Reds against the Cards, and then Monday Night Baseball at 7, White Sox, Yankees.
Jargal doing a better job of avoiding the right hand, keeping the left hand up a little bit now when he slips. But now he has to find a way to mix in some offense. You can survive with defense, but you can't always win. Very difficult to win with defense. Survive and put yourself in position, but to win, you have to have offense. And once again, Jargal lays over on the right side, and he pays a price.
He was leaned over on the right side, and Prescott delivered another right hand. And Prescott's landing a lot here now at this point of round number 5. Look at this series. Headshot after headshot from Breidis Prescott, and Jargal stands up to it.
What a tough guy this Jargal is, but now he learns he needs to try to find a way to tie up. And when you have a mentality like Jargal, you can see that that's not something that's in his repertoire, not something that's in his makeup, not something he's been taught how to tie up.
Boy, is he durable and swelling around both eyes here at the end of round number 5.